Hello student, today we are going to see all the formulas for class 12. Okay, it's for a very good revision for your exam. Actually, I have it's very important formulas. It's going to be more than 350 formulas. I am going to give you with short and quick explanation. Okay, if you like my channel, please subscribe. Okay, it's very helpful for your exam. So I am going to start with the NCERT chapter wise. Okay, especially compared to the volume 1 and volume 2. Volume 1 have more formulas compared to the volume 2. Okay, so in this formula we are going to discuss what are the formulas is there in your class 12. Okay, the first one, electric charges and field. The first chapter we are going to learn what are the formulas is there. First one, Q is equal to Ne, number of electron. Okay, so when N is equal to Q divided by E, okay, if in case I am taken the charge is 1 coulombs, electron is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs, the charge of electrons. Okay, so now we'll get total number of electron is there in the particular when the current is flowing 1 coulombs, electron is this much, total number of electron will be 6.25 into 10 power plus 18. Okay, it's not this many number of electrons should be passed when the 1 coulombs charge is flowing. Okay, the next one, there are two types of charge, one is the positive, another one is the negative. The force of attraction or repulsion between the two charges we can call Coulomb's law of force, 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 divided by r square or d square, whatever you want you can write it. Okay, the same formula you can write in a different way. It's going to be 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, you can take it as in a k. The value of this is going to be 9 into 10 power 9. It's very easy value. Okay, the unit of this Newton meter square divided by Coulomb square. Okay, now what is epsilon naught? Epsilon naught is called permittivity, mu naught is going to be permeability. Okay, it is called electric field constant, 8.85 into 10 power minus 12. This value they will be given in the question paper. Okay, Newton inverse meter minus 2, it is called epsilon naught value. Okay, the next we are going to see vector form of Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law in a vector form, there are two ways we can write in a vector form. Okay, the first way it is F, the force in a first charge due to second charge is going to be 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2. I am talking about the charges between the interaction between the two charges. Okay, it's going to be r221 square r21 cap. Okay, in this pattern you can write, otherwise you can write in another way. The another way of writing the Coulomb's law in a vector form like this, 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, this value you can take it k also, q1 q2 divided by r21 cube r21 vector. So this, it's called unit vector, this is called vector. So when you are doing that, you should make it as cube here. Okay, the next formula, force in a second charge due to first charge, 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 divided by r12. The distance is going to be changed now, r square r12 unit cap. The same formula you can write in a different way also, cube format also you can write, force in a second charge due to first charge, 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 divided by r12 cube r12 vector. This way also you can write. Okay, this is a Coulomb's law in a vector form. The next one, the next we are going to learn gravitation force. Sometimes some of the problem they will be comparing with the gravitation force. Force is equal to g times of m1 m2 divided by d square. G is a universal gravitational constant, is going to be 6.65 into 10 power minus 11 Newton meter square divided by kg square. Sometime you required this formula for doing the problems. Okay, the next formula, electric field. Electric field is equal to force per unit charge. It's going to be 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught q divided by r square. No need q1 q2, only one charge is enough here. Okay, the another formula, electric flux. Electric flux is equal to electric field into area cos theta. Okay, like this we can take it as a electric flux. So electric flux is a scalar quantity. That explanation also you need to know. Flux is equal to electric field dot area. Whenever you are getting cos theta, you can make it as a dot product. Dot product is going to be the scalar product. Scalar product. Okay. The next thing, electric flux in a Gauss law. Gauss explained the electric flux. Electric flux is equal to q divided by epsilon naught, q divided by epsilon naught. Q is the charge, epsilon naught is the electric field constant. Okay, like this you can write. The another formula, magnetic electric dipole moment P is equal to 2ql. Same if you want magnetic dipole moment, which is going to be n I a. It is called electric dipole moment, it is called magnetic dipole moment. Both the formulas you require to do for the chapter 1. Okay, next one. The next formula, electric field in axial line and electric field in a equatorial line. Same way I am going to compare with the magnetic field also, but it is little out of syllabus. Okay, but you need to know to do the competitive exam. Okay, so I have dipole here, I have dipole here. One is plus, another one is minus. Okay, so this distance is going to be 2l. I want here what is a electric field. Electric field is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught 2p divided by r cube. It is called axial line electric field. Same if you want magnetic field, means it is out of syllabus only, just you can come to know this formula also is there, easily you can compare and do it. B is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi. It's a magnetic field constant, this is electric field constant. It's going to be 2m divided by r cube. It's same formula for the axial line, for the magnetic field. B is a magnetic field. Okay, it is out of syllabus, but this will be help you to do in a competitive exam. The another formula I have the another dipole, electric dipole. Okay, I place the equatorial line. What is the electric field at the equatorial line? E is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. It's going to be P divided by r cube. I got what is now equatorial line electric field also. If you want magnetic field at equatorial line, it's very simple. B is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi. It's going to be P divided m divided by r cube. Because P is a electric field dipole moment, M is a magnetic field dipole moment. Magnetic field, it's going to be out of syllabus, they reduce now as a portion. Okay, now electric field due to the axial line, equatorial line, we sum. Okay, now charge density, lambda is equal to charge per unit length, sigma is equal to charge per unit area, and rho is equal to charge per unit volume. Okay, it is for line you can use as the lambda, charge per unit length. For sheet you can use it as a sigma, it is going to be charge per unit area. The sphere or cuboid you can use for the charge per unit volume. Okay, these are the formulas we are going to use in a different case. It's for line, it's for area, it's for volume. Okay, for charge density we are discussing, we are taken as a like this, it's going to be the charge density. Okay, now Gauss explained with 3 cases. Okay, first one is line charge, another one is a sheet charge, then one is it's a spherical shell. Okay, spherical shell is out of syllabus, so I am going to discuss with the line first. Okay, it is a charged uniform straight wire. It is how much electric field is produced due to this. Okay, so we are taken like this, this is going to be the Gaussian surface. So now my electric field is due to the Gaussian surface is lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught times of r. Already I know lambda is equal to q divided by l. Okay, r is a distance, so r is a distance. Okay, and 2 pi epsilon naught, it's a constant, and lambda is the charge density. Another one I have sheet. What is electric field due to the sheet using of Gauss law? It's a Gauss law application. So electric field is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. It's very simple formula for the sheet. Okay. The another one, torque is equal to force into perpendicular distance. Torque is equal to force into perpendicular distance. The same way torque is equal to P sin theta we can write. Okay, whenever you are getting sin theta, that definitely is going to be the vector quantity. Okay, that also you should keep it in mind. Okay, I have right now torque. Torque is equal to P vector cross E vector. It is called cross product. Cross product is going to be the vector quantity. Same if you want magnetic torque is equal to magnetic dipole moment into magnetic field. This also going to be the vector quantity. It's called magnetic field. Okay, when you are learning this kind of comparison, easily you can learn many formulas. Okay, without memorizing you can come to know. It's going to be total energy stored when the dipole is placed in a electric field. Okay, so it's going to be P E cos theta. Otherwise we can write it's in a scalar quantity, it's minus P dot E, which is going to be the scalar quantity. because of cos theta. Whenever you are getting cos theta, you can write that as a scalar quantity. Okay, the same formula if you want in a electric field, magnetic field means U is equal to minus m vector dot b vector. This also is going to be the scalar quantity. Okay, now I am going to do with the next formula, next one. Okay, see here what we are going to do next, the chapter 2, which is going to be electrostatic. Okay, so most of the importance formula I am discussing here, it's very useful to for your board exam, so you have to watch everything. I have given many exam explanation in this video. Okay, yeah, now chapter 2, which is going to be electrostatic potential and capacitance. These are the formulas we are going to learn now. Okay, see here what are the formula is there first in this chapter. Work done is equal to U is going to be force into displacement. Simple formula. Easily trick you can use 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square into R square R gets cancelled. So U is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R. It's a electrostatic potential. Okay, so electrostatic potential energy, it's going to be the energy, the unit of this is going to be the joules. Okay, so if you want electrostatic potential is going to be voltage is equal to work done per unit charge. When the charge is bringing from infinity to the point A, it's going to be potential. The same formula, work done per unit charge. When the charge is bringing from A to B, it's going to be the potential difference. The another formula, potential is equal to work done per unit charge. Work done, I know 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square divided by Q get cancelled. So potential is going to be 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R square, also it's getting cancelled, divided by R. This is a potential formula. It's a simple trick. Don't follow 1 and 2. 1 it is 2, it is Q, I am getting cancelled. Only charge is getting cancelled. That's it. Second charge is getting cancelled. Okay. Now next formula, electric potential due to the electric dipole at any point. Okay, I have dipole here. NCERT is given like this. Explanation is going to be the 2L. I kept here, it is a dipole, it's a theta angle. Okay, so finally I'll get derivation V is equal to P cos theta divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. Like this will get. Okay, it is for any point. Okay, it's not specified. When the theta is equal to 0 degree, cos 0 will be 1. V is equal to P divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. When theta is 0 degree, it's going to be the axial line of this dipole. Okay, it's going to be the axial line. Theta is equal to 90 degree, cos 90 will be 0, so voltage is going to be 0. It's going to become as a equatorial line perpendicular to the dipole, which is the answer will be 0. Okay, same way theta is equal to 180 degree. 180 degree V is going to be negative P 4 pi epsilon naught R square. Like that also we can get opposite to the first we got case 1 here, case 2 here, case 3 here. Okay, so axial line, equatorial line, again opposite side of the axial line. Okay, so we have 3 cases. So I'll be explaining for 0 degree it's called axial line. For 90 degree, which is going to be equatorial line, 180 degree is going to be the again opposite side of the axial line. Okay, yeah. Now next formula, if you learn this derivation easily, you will come to know what is axial, what is equatorial, and what is opposite side of the equatorial. Okay, the next thing, it's very important relation, E is equal to dV by dl. Electric field is equal to volt per unit length, otherwise E is equal to V by L. Negative sign will get here. Okay, otherwise K is equal to V by L. Anything you can use it. Okay, otherwise V is, it's a potential gradient or electric field. Okay, the relation between E and V, this is the relation between E and V. It's a very important formula. Look like very simple, but it's very important formula. Okay, now 3 charges is placed in a equilateral triangle. What is the energy stored in this? So 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, it is R1 distance, Q1, Q2, Q3. So it is energy 1, energy 2, energy 3. It's a R3 distance, R2 distance. Okay, so Q1, Q2, this 2, the distance is going to be R1. It's going to be Q2, Q3, the distance is going to be R2 plus Q3, Q1, this 2, okay, distance is going to be R3. This is total energy stored in a triangular system. Okay, what is the energy is required to place in a triangular system? It's also very important problem, very important equation. This they asked in a CBSE exam. Okay, the next thing, rectangular thing, how much is energy is required to place this kind of system? It's also very important system. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, like this is there. Okay, so diagonal side also you can have to take it. This I am taken R1, R2, R3, R4. Okay, diagonal side D1, D2. Now what is the net energy required to place this kind of system? Okay, U is equal to U1 plus U2 plus U3 plus U4 plus U5 plus U6. Okay, so all the formulas will get 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. I am taken common outside. For U1, Q1, Q2 divided by R1 distance. It's for knowing purpose only I am doing this. U2, it's going to be this one, R2, R3 divided by R2 plus U3, Q4 divided by R3, this place, okay, plus Q4 Q1, Q4 Q1 divided by R4. Then diagonal side we have, it's going to be R5 Q1 Q3 divided by D2 plus this diagonal Q2 Q4 divided by D1. Okay, this much is going to be created, this much energy is required to make arrangement of this system. Okay, next one, next formula. Next formula, so electrostatic also, this second chapter also we have a lot of formulas. Okay, so we have the another thing in a conductor, electrostatic shielding. Okay, it's very important concept. You can expect one more question also here. Conductor or extra charge placed in a conductor or electrostatic shielding. Electrostatic shielding. When the extra charge placed in a conductor, what will be happen? Okay, in a conductor, when the extra charge is given, it will be stayed outside because all the electron will be start accumulating in a one side. Okay, inside net electric field will be 0 because electron will be one side, defect of electron will be another side. Okay, which is going to be electric field inside the conductor 0, electric flux inside the conductor 0, voltage is going to become as a constant inside the conductor. Okay, this you need to know definitely. Okay, the next thing, electric polarization. Recently in the sample paper they are given a unit of polarization. Polarization is equal to electric susceptibility into electric field. Okay, so electric susceptibility, if you want, electric polarization divided by electric field. Okay, it is electric polarization formula, electric susceptibility formula. Okay, it's a very simple formula only. This SI unit, electric polarization SI unit, one time they asked in a question. Okay, the next formula, charge is directly proportional to volt, Q is equal to CV. Otherwise, C is equal to Q divided by V. 1 farad is equal to 1 coulombs divided by 1 volt, the unit of the above formula. Okay, it's very important formula. Okay, the next one, when the two parallel plate is there, what is the capacitance of capacitor? Two parallel plate I have. So what is the capacitance of capacitor? First we will see what is the net electric field. Okay, because of plate 1 plus minus, so electric field will be start from positive, end with negative, E1 and E2. Two electric field will get added, E1 plus E2. So E1 is sigma by 2 epsilon naught, E2 is also sigma by 2 epsilon naught. It's going to be 2 sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Electric field is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. Okay, the electric field inside the plate is going to be sigma by epsilon naught. Okay, what is the capacitance of capacitor due to two parallel plate? Okay, capacitance of capacitor C is equal to epsilon naught times of A divided by D. Area is the area of the plate, and D is the distance between the two plates. D is the distance between the two plates. Okay, the next formula I am going to do it. See here, capacitance of capacitor. Dielectric constant K is equal to capacitance in medium by capacitance in air. The same formula, voltage in air divided by voltage in medium. The same formula, electric field in air divided by electric field in medium. The same formula, force in air divided by force in medium is equal to permeability in medium by permeability in air. Like that also we can give the general formula for to find the dielectric constant. Okay. So capacitance in parallel, it's going to be addition of C1 plus C2 plus C3. How much is that? That much you can do. In series, charge is going to become as a constant. You should keep it in mind. Okay. In parallel, now I'm going to teach you what is the formula for capacitance in parallel one series 1 by Cs is equal to parallel voltage is constant. Okay, in series C1 plus C1 by C2 plus 1 by C3 in series charge is constant. Okay, charge is constant. You should keep it in mind. Then only you are able to do the problem. Okay, the energy in a capacitance. There are two formulas of CV square, otherwise q square divided by 2c. Any formulas you can use. Capacitance when the what is the energy stored in a capacitor. Okay, the next one, chapter 3. I'm going to start with the chapter 3. It's going to be the current electricity. Okay, it's very important chapter. Chapter 3. Okay, current is equal to charge per unit time. Okay, otherwise charge is equal to Ne. According to Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. Voltage is directly proportional to the current. Voltage is directly proportional to the current. Okay, so here also you need to know what is the resistance in series and what is the resistance in parallel. Okay, in series current is constant, parallel voltage is constant. In resistance it is in a series, Rs is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. In series current is constant. This also you should keep it in mind. Okay, in parallel 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Parallel voltage is constant. It's very simple. Okay, we have another formula, energy V I T. Otherwise we can take it I square or T, otherwise we can take it V square divided by R into T. It's a energy formula. Okay, same way you need to know what is the power formula also, because energy is equal to its power is equal to energy by time. So the same formula will get energy is equal to power into time also will get. Okay, so this is energy formula will get Vi I square or V square divided by R. Like that will get as the power formula. Okay, power is the energy by time. Remove all the time, you will get as the power formula. Okay, now 1 kWh 1 kilowatt hour. It is a unit of energy. It is a unit of energy. Okay, so how many joules, that also you need to know. 3.6 into 10 power 6 joules. Okay, 1 EV is also energy unit, 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joule. 1 MeV is also unit of the energy, 1.6 into 10 power minus 13 joule. Mega or million you can take it. Okay, the next value I am going to take it, factors affecting resistance. What are the factors affecting? Length, area, nature and temperature. These are the factors will be affecting. Okay, so R is directly proportional to L, inversely proportional to A. It is directly length is affected, inversely area is getting affected. So R is equal to constant times of L divided by A. Constant is called resistance or specific resistance. If you want specific resistance, resistivity also we can tell RA divided by L. If you want this unit, ohm, meter. Okay, conductivity is 1 by resistivity. It's going to be ohm inverse meter inverse, opposite to this formula. Okay, the next formula, it is going to be relation between drift velocity and relaxation time. Drift velocity is equal to A torque. What is that drift velocity? Average velocity between two successive collision. What is average time? It's called relaxation time. Okay, mean free path, the average distance between the two successive collision, we can take it as a mean free path. Okay, the next one I'm going to give you what is when the wire is stretched as the n time. When the wire is stretched as the n time, okay, length is going to be n time is going to increase, area is going to decrease as the n time. R is equal to rho NL divided by A divided by n. That's going to be n square times rho L divided by A. What we are coming to know now, R is going to be R new resistance after stretching is n square times of R old resistance. What this formula is telling now, if you stretch 2 times, 4 times will get increased. If you stretch 3 times, 9 times will get increased. If you stretch 4 times, means 16 times will get increased. Okay, that's the formula it's saying. Okay, so now current density is equal to current per unit area. The unit of this is ampere by meter square. Okay, now next formula we are going to learn from the current electricity. Current electricity, we have many formulas in a current electricity. Relation between current and drift velocity. Vd is equal to NIA E Vd. This is sorry, AI NI NI E A. Okay, uh, sorry, sorry. Current is equal to NIAE VD. It is this is a question many times is asked in a CBSE exam. Okay, current density is also with the relation of drift velocity is going to be I divided by A will get NIAE VD divided by A will get NIE VD. It's a relation between current density and drift velocity. The another formula I am going to give you, sigma is equal to Vd, sigma is equal to N E square divided by M J. It's going to be conductivity and this is going to be current density. Now we are going to learn microscopic form of Ohm's law or vector form of Ohm's law. J vector is equal to sigma times of E vector, electric field, current density and conductivity. Same, E vector is equal to rho times of J vector. So sigma is 1 divided by rho. Okay, it is a microscopic form of Ohm's law. That also we need to know, it's very important formula, microscopic form of Ohm's law. Okay, now next one. What is the mobility of the electron? Vd is equal to mobility of the electron is equal to drift velocity by electric field. If you want unit of this meter per second, it's volt per length, volt per meter. Okay, unit of this meter square divided by volt into second, or meter square volt inverse second inverse. This also it is going to be the mobility of the electron. Otherwise, mobility of the electron E torque divided by M. This value also you can give for the mobility of the electron. The next formula I am going to give you EMF in series and EMF in parallel. Okay, so EMF in series. So EMF in series, first we will learn what is EMF. Okay, EMF is the internal resistance which is produced when the cell current is flowing from the cell. Okay, so capital R is external resistance, small r is internal resistance. This is EMF. Okay, current in series is getting constant. Okay, I am using this formula. Total EMF is equal to I capital R plus I small r. It is going to be terminal voltage, it's going to be drop voltage. So I is equal to EMF divided by R plus small r. It is a very important formula. CBSE asked many times this as a exam. Okay, the next one, EMF in series. EMF in series, I is equal to EMF divided by N times in series, R plus NR. Okay, EMF in series, there are N number of resistance in series. Okay, again I am going to do EMF in parallel. How it's going to be the EMF in parallel? Next one, next formula, EMF in a parallel. EMF in parallel, EMF is equal to M times parallel I am taken. Okay, so it's going to be M EMF divided by M capital R plus small r. Okay, in case mixed time of EMF, parallel and parallel n times of series, m times of parallel. Okay, it's going to be n m EMF divided by mr plus nr. It is for mixed formula. Okay, this formula only applicable when all the EMF will be the same. Okay, ditto, identical. Okay, now I have two EMF, EMF 1 with internal resistance, EMF 2 with internal resistance, EMF 1 R1 resistance, EMF 2 R2 resistance. Okay, so what is the net voltage is going to be, so net terminal voltage is going to be EMF, equivalent EMF minus current times of equivalent resistance. It is in a series. Okay, now I am going to tell you what is the EMF equivalence in a series. EMF 1 plus EMF 2. Resistance equivalence is going to be R1 plus R2. It's very simple. Okay, the next formula, I have EMF in a parallel, 2 EMF in a parallel, EMF 1 R1, EMF 2 R2. I have 2 EMF in a parallel connection. Okay, now how it's going to be, V is equal to EMF equivalence minus I R equivalence. Now also you need to know what is the equivalence EMF. It's going to be equivalence EMF is going to be EMF 1 R2 plus EMF 2 R1 divided by R1 plus R2, or R equivalence will get R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay, it is a series parallel EMF equation. Okay. Yeah, next one, Kirchhoff's law. Kirchhoff's law, there are two laws. Okay, one is based on the current law, another one is based on the loop law. Okay, loop law you need many explanation. Okay, so in first law, Kirchhoff's law, Kirchhoff's law, Kirchhoff's law, first law, it's going to be current law. Algebraic sum of all the current will be 0. It's going to be Kirchhoff's first law. Okay, and here charge is getting conserved. Charge is neither be created nor be destroyed, conserved. Okay, the second law, Kirchhoff's second law, we can call it is called loop law. Okay, here energy is going to be conserved. Energy is going to be conserved. Okay, so I'll give one example. All the current, 5 current is coming in a junction, single junction. Okay, so we'll take it 2 in 3 out. Okay, 1 2 I1 I2, it's in I3 I4 I5, I3 I4 I5 will be out. Okay, so according to first law, I1 plus I2 is equal to I3 plus I4 plus I5, because algebraic sum of all the current will be 0 at particular junction. Okay, loop law is called algebraic sum of all the voltage will be 0, energy is getting conserved here. Okay. The next one, Wheatstone bridge. What is a Wheatstone bridge formula? It's going to be Wheatstone bridge. It's based a very fundamental formula for the Wheatstone bridge. It's very simple formula. The ratio of 4 resistance is going to be balanced. Okay, R1 by R2 is equal to R3 by R4. Simple. Okay, the Wheatstone bridge, it's based on like this. Okay, R1, R2, R3, R4. The center circuit current will be 0, galvanometer current will be 0, Ig, galvanometer current will be 0. Same P by Q is equal to R by S also we can take it. Okay, both the value will be, unit will be ohms only. Okay, don't get confused here. Okay, meter bridge works under the principle of Wheatstone bridge. So if you want meter bridge formula, same R by S, same formula, P by Q. P by Q, P is a resistance, no? Resistance we can have resistivity length by area, resistivity length by area. Okay, it is L1 length, L2 length. Okay, only length getting varied. Okay, so I am cancelling everything, L1 by L2. In a meter bridge, already you did in a lab. Okay, R by S is equal to L1 by L2. How the resistance is changed to the length, that explanation I am given. Okay, so now what is the final equation? Actually meter bridge length is 100 centimeter. So R divided by S is equal to L1 divided by 100 minus L1. Using of this we can find the unknown resistance. In case R is unknown resistance, R is the S times of L1 divided by 100 minus L1. Like that you can give the formula. Okay. Next thing, potentiometer. Comparison of 2 EMF potentiometer. Okay. Potentiometer. There are two cases in a